What's up, everyone? We are back for episode number 30.
It's kind of cool. Does it feel like we've done 30 yet?
No, doesn't. Roll that intro.
Episode 30. I know it doesn't.
Hope you all are having a good day so far, a good week, or you had a good week because it's Friday when you see this.
It's been election time for us. Yesterday was the last day. So we're kind of like waiting to see the full results right now. We still don't know exactly like much. We only know kind of like we know most of our like Senate and House right now. We don't really know we don't know who's the majority right now for Senate.
Yeah.
I think it's tie.
I think it's funny how I think that's why we get so divided here is because there's more than two parties, but technically like people only really hear about two parties. Like they don't really get informed about other parties.
Well, because there's less likelihood that other party is gonna win, the majority at least. And honestly, election time really shows you sorry.
It's okay.
How divided we are. We aren't just like 3/4 one way. Like we are almost 50-50 divided. It's really wild
just
as a country.
Where you're at.
Yeah. So it's interesting. We're getting a new mayor, so we're hoping that it's the person we voted for. But I feel like pretty much majority of everyone we're talking to has like no idea how it is. But
it's weird they push politics in our face around this time, around like election times.
Yeah, like
it's ads everywhere.
Influencers are all of a sudden like
they get paid by the political people.
I think celebrities do.
That's what I'm saying. The celebrities they'll like I'm sure Caruso paid Kim and all of them to say
100%. Birds of a feather though. So which is so wild. I literally had someone that I used to work with, his like Instagram story said verbatim, vote Rick Caruso because Kris Jenner said so. And I'm just like, are you in the same tax bracket or comfort as Kris Jenner? No. So you should probably not. Or at least think about that when you're voting. I mean, vote for him if you want. Don't if you don't. But like,
I think it's easier for most people to just see something like that and be like, okay.
Like it's trendy, but it's like everything could be trendy and fun and blah, blah, blah until it comes to politics. That's something you just have to take a teeny bit more seriously. Just a teeny bit, because it's like, that's your like decisions will be made that are going to affect people you love, if not you. And
I mean, I just hope whoever gets elected actually really puts the effort in to do something better for everyone.
For our county.
Better for everyone. Because
we do need it, especially the housing crisis that's going on. Both candidates are promising to deal with that in the best like humane way possible, and we're counting on them, whoever wins. So
we'll see.
Anyway.
Also, it's been raining. I think it just finished raining, so I want to hit a hike. Maybe in one of the next podcasts, I want to throw up some nice hiking pictures.
Last night it was pouring. It was beautiful. It reminded me when we were in Italy and there was like a random storm.
Oh yeah, we were in Italy with it was us and her brother.
Was it years ago?
We were like in this alleyway. I forget. It was in Rome, I believe, and it just out of nowhere storming, like pouring rain. But I guess that's like how a lot of that area is.
I heard it's not uncommon during certain times of year. But it was like super windy and like just gusts of wind and then pouring rain. Like everyone was like running into like the shops and like
it was
the
fun,
churches
though.
And stuff. It was so much fun. And then I got sick. Like apparently the doctor was saying, because this is when I had my asthma attack in Italy. I don't know. But the doctor was saying like, a lot of like the elements of the earth probably got into your respiratory system, and I'm like, okay, but it was fun. I mean, it was like a memory, you know. It was inconvenient at the time, but like it was also like kind of cool to experience at the same time.
Well, luckily also that doctor was very nice, and he was like, do you want to take extra inhalers, because I know it's very expensive. I know, but if someone's
you're right. But you're right. That was
he
cool.
like offered, he's like, do you want to take more, because I know it's super expensive back home.
He's like, I'll write you as many as you want for a prescription, because I know how it is over there. And I'm like, damn, that's really nice. He said he had like I don't want to say a client, a patient. He had a patient that comes to him just to like load up on like whatever he needs.
That's wild.
From New York or something.
Yeah, I mean, you get a little trip out of it too.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so today oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just saying that's 5 minutes of our brains vomiting thoughts. Okay.
Also, if you haven't yet, don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so today we're going to do a video called Illegal in the US and Legal in the Rest of the World, or Legal in the World. It's by someone called Legal Eagle. I think I've seen one of his videos a while back, and he's pretty like funny.
I like the name Legal Eagle.
It reminds me of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Or like Better Call Saul.
Yeah. All right, let's get this. And here we go.
Welcome to America, the freest country in the entire world, which we know is true because it's a thing that people say. And you might actually believe that until you try to build housing somewhere or drink alcohol in public. But unfortunately, America is not the freest country in the world. In fact, according to some, it's barely in the top 20 freest countries. But the world is a diverse place, and one country's freedom is another country's criminal violation. And there are wide swaths of activities that are perfectly normal in other countries, but also very, very illegal in America. So today, let's look at some international liberties that could get you fined or locked up if you tried them stateside. And some of these foreign freedoms may surprise you. But let's start with a truly evil and dastardly product, one that actually specifically targets children. I'm of course talking about Kinder Eggs. Now, we like to say that children are the future, and here in America, the moment we find out that something puts children in danger, legislators pull out all the stops to ensure that we try to keep our kids safe. And that's why America has stood firm to cracking down on
Except for guns.
Wait.
Grave and terrible threat to children's health and safety posed by toy-filled chocolate eggs. Kinder Surprise eggs, which famously contain a yellow capsule, which contains a small toy.
Wait, were these always illegal?
I'm not sure because they sell these at the supermarket. My niece loves these, but they don't sell it like that. Maybe those ones are the ones that are, because they sell like, you open the egg, each side is covered with like a plastic film. You peel one, it has a toy. You peel the other side, it has like a little chocolate pudding mix, and it comes with like a little spoon. Yeah. She loves this
It's probably illegal because kids are dying with the choking on the toys or something. They're probably just eating straight into it and just eating the toy.
Survival of the fittest. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, I guess maybe these are a different type.
I feel like I've seen something similar to this, but I don't know. No. When I was younger. I don't know. We'll see.
Those little jelly bean people. Remember those?
Mighty Beans.
Those were so
I used to love those. All right.
Have been a beloved staple for children around the world ever since the product's introduction in 1974 by Ferrero, an Italian company. But in the United States, these toy-filled treats have been classified as dangerous illegal contraband. And some background. In 1938, the U.S. passed the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, which empowered government agencies to regulate food safety. And under consumer safety regulations issued by the FDA and the Consumer Product Safety Commission, the sale and distribution of any food with a, quote, non-nutritive object embedded is prohibited. And that includes toys found inside confectionery items. Now, although you can find Kinder Surprise eggs in Canada and Mexico, don't try to bring them into this country or you risk serious fines. In 2011, the U.S. Customs...
Can you Google this for a sec on your phone?
Okay.
Google Kinder Eggs USA, or not even USA, just like Kinder Egg chocolate. Like, maybe it's like a knockoff version they have here, but I swear it's Kinder. No, not those. Put Kinder Egg chocolate. Don't put like illegal. You have a very specific way of Googling things, and it is the exact opposite of how I Google.
It's fine.
Wait, I want to know.
Let's just continue to watch, and
we'll
look it up. We'll look it up after. Let's continue to watch.
and Border Protection, the CBP, seized more than 60,000 Kinder Eggs from travelers' baggage and international mail shipments. Damn. More than twice that number from 2010. This caused the CBP to issue a press release in 2012 warning people to try to stop sneaking chocolate eggs into the country. Quote, also known as Kinder Eggs, these chocolate treats may be cute and seasonal, but they are too dangerous to children to be imported legally into the US. The problem is the small plastic toy inside the Kinder Egg. While sold in many countries, this product is banned from the US U.S. because young children can choke on it. Now, some people have...
It's exactly what I was saying. Yeah. That's wild. I mean, just be careful and don't let your kid choke on it.
Well, not only that, there are tons of toys out here that are micro. Like, I think they're called Shopkins. These are like little baby toys. Like, they're tiny little toys that kids like. They unwrap and they're like, because kids like miniature size things.
Yeah, that is true.
There's even adults who like that type of stuff. But it's like,
that's true.
Yeah. So I'm like, again, like my niece, she has a whole collection of Shopkins that every time I used to see her when she had the set still, like she would be like, open this one today, open this one today. And
yeah.
They're like these tiny little toys.
Is it kind of like those hatchable things?
Not really, but yeah.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I could.
Shit, sorry.
Rude.
Sorry.
I could see how a kid might think chocolate, bites into it, and maybe thinks the toy is chocolate too. But like, come on, parents, teach your children.
Yeah.
Argue that these Kinder Eggs are not a risk to European children and Canadian children because European and Canadian children are smarter than U.S. children.
I was gonna say.
Now, a few months after the CBP released that statement, a married couple from Seattle was detained at the Canadian border when the pair was caught with 6 Kinder Eggs from Vancouver. The couple was unaware that they were in possession of illegal ovarian contraband and was even more shocked that each egg carried a penalty of $2,500 per egg. Damn. Now, luckily for that couple, they were let off with a warning. But not to worry, American Kinder fans, because in 2018, Ferrero introduced a modified Kinder Joy egg that complies with U.S. regulations. Crucially, the Kinder Joy is not actually an egg-shaped chocolate. It's half a chocolate egg with wafer bits inside, while the toy is kept on the other side of the egg away from the edible bit, which I guess is suitable for hapless American children. And despite the fear surrounding Kinder Eggs, there's little evidence that these chocolate delights are as dangerous as claimed. Now, there have been 7 reported child deaths between 1989 and 2016, a relatively tiny number in the face of billions of eggs sold. And furthermore, the packaging warns parents that the eggs are not suitable for kids under the age of 3 and supervision is recommended. But let's not leave food-based illegality, because
one more thing. I do think that the American packaging is a little bit more sanitary. Like, you're putting a plastic toy in a piece of chocolate and then telling the kids to eat around the toy.
Yeah. So you're saying it's a little bit less sanitary?
No, I feel like the American way is more sanitary. It's literally an egg. You open the egg in half. Each side is plastic wrapped.
Oh, you're saying the way that they had to, they did
that
it
we
to
do
like,
it. I think.
Yeah, to comply.
Yeah. Granted, I feel like.
Yeah. Babe.
They went through extra lengths just to make it
is this
safer.
I think it's because it's a Hispanic thing or something, but when I was younger, I just remembered this. They would do something that they would, we would eat like bread, and there's a little baby Jesus or something in the bread. And
and if you like if your piece had the baby in it, wouldn't you have to like cook everyone dinner or something?
Like that. You guys did that too?
My stepmom, she's Mexican, so like
yeah.
every now
That's
and then.
That's what I'm saying. I think it might be like a Catholic thing. I don't know, but
I think it is. Yeah.
But I remember that now, and I'm like, wow, that was so dangerous. It's just a bunch of fucking
Again, survival of the fittest.
Because while Americans remain deeply divided on a wide variety of issues, there's one thing that most of us can agree on, and that's that life begins at cheese. Now, over the last 40 years, our love of cheese, much like our waistbands, has grown. Between 1977 and 2020, we Americans have increased our annual cheese consumption from 16 pounds to 40 pounds every year. And I'm probably responsible for about half of that. So needless to say, we Americans love our cheese, whether it's on pizza, burgers, or in the form of 64 Jesus-infused slices of American cheese.
Have you been up all night
Jesus
eating
and
cheese?
I think I'm blind.
But if you're taking a cheese tour of the world, be careful what you bring back to the United States, because your love of cheese might just put you in legal jeopardy.
You guys enjoying that cheese? It's unpasteurized. It's illegal in this country.
In fact, many raw soft cheeses from France, like Bleu de Gex, Roquefort, or Reblochon, are illegal in the United States due to the FDA's strict cheese production regulations. Under these rules, cheeses made with raw, unpasteurized milk is illegal to import or sell in the United States unless it has been aged for at least 60 days. The reasoning is, of course, food safety, namely to minimize the risk of foodborne contagions like Listeria, Salmonella, and E. coli. And after 60 days, the acids and salts in raw milk cheese, coupled with the aging process, begin to naturally kill these types of harmful bacteria. But here's the thing. Anyone who has ever been to France knows that the cheese is so much better there. And it's not just raw cheese. The FDA has also cracked down on certain cheeses just because they contain too many live insects. That's the case with Kazumartsu,
Wait, what?
What?
They contain too many live insects?
Well, you have to remember cheese is like actively rotting. So we go through like a pasteurization process to kind of like slow that down.
But when we were in Italy, the cheese did taste so good. It tasted different than here.
I mean, yeah. And it's also probably way more fresh. Like, you know,
So
they go through so much. I'm sure it's way more fresh.
I wonder if part of the pasteurization process is actually adding stuff to it so it can last longer.
I mean, don't quote me. I wouldn't say that's the pasteurization process, but I'm sure in somewhere along the line before it gets to us, yeah, they're doing something.
I feel like all our food here, they do that so it lasts longer so it can have better shelf life.
Yeah.
I just don't know if any of that is good for us.
It's not.
Yeah.
But
that's probably, I want to do, there was another video I saw that was foods that are illegal in other
we'll do that.
countries. Yeah. But
I forgot what I was going to say. Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sardinian sheep's milk cheese that's intentionally infested with live maggots. Kazumartsu, which literally means rotten cheese, gets a special flavor from being left to rot out among swarms of fly larvae. And while I'm told this hellish-looking cheese is actually quite delicious, it turns out that eating maggots is actually a tremendous health risk, earning the cheese the nickname the world's most dangerous cheese. And as a result, Kazumartsu is not only illegal in the US, but in the entire European Union. But here's the thing.
Why would you do this?
I cannot remember for the life of me where I've heard this, but when I was a kid, I've heard about this cheese, and I was like, I could not wrap my head around it.
If anyone is from the area where this is popular, please let us know what's the benefit of doing this. If anyone watching this.
Apparently, it tastes delicious. Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, it's delicious.
Oh my God. So. Wow. That's so interesting. I never knew that. Okay.
Anyone who has ever been to Sardinia knows the maggot-filled cheese is just so much better there. But the French have also been on the receiving end of big government's anti-bug eating crusade. In 2013, the FDA angered American cheesophiles by blocking the import of French mimolette cheese just because the cheese is naturally infested with cheese mites. And while most cheesemakers consider the mites a nuisance, mimolette producers actually encourage the microscopic critters to burrow into the rind in order to help the cheese ripen and produce its distinctively sweet, earthy flavor. Mighty. But the FDA has determined that eating too many mites could cause an allergic reaction, resulting in the ban of the Gouda-like cheese. And though the FDA has no legal limit on cheese mites, the agency indicated a target of no more than 6 mites per square inch, which mimolette simply
Otherwise,
cannot
you gotta
meet.
pay rent.
So what are the consequences of contraband cheese?
We got a tip about some food entering the country illegally?
No.
Well, the failure to declare food products on your customs forms can result in fines of up to $10,000, and your unlawful cheese will be seized. But be forewarned, there is a thriving black market for cheese in the United States, and illegal cheese is very much on the government's radar. The Department of Homeland Security, you know, the post-9/11 agency responsible for protecting the country from terrorism and Kinder eggs, has helped bust cheese smuggling rings into Canada. But unless you're a large-scale cheese smuggler, you're probably not looking at any jail time.
Wow, you got me. Good one.
I'm sorry. Imagine going to jail and they're like, "What'd you do, man? I smuggled cheese. I'm a cheese smuggler."
Right. I would just say I smuggled illegal
Imagine
drugs
like
or something.
If you guys have seen the movie Blow, you do like just reenact it, but instead it's cheese.
Yeah.
All right.
I had a boss, you know, the person I worked for, and she knew someone, like a farmer, that would like sell unpasteurized butter.
I bet it tasted so good.
Yeah, she used to cook with it a lot for us, not for like her customers. It was good, but
it's a health risk if you do it for customers.
It's at your own, yeah. I mean, unless you disclose to them, you know.
Then she could get shut down and probably.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far. A lot of her customers are super loyal, so if she had said to them, a lot of them are super like hippie and like.
No, I know, but I'm saying like if you were to do that and you
and
didn't inform people. And
yes,
someone
that
got
would
sick.
be fucked up. Yes,
yeah.
that's an ethical issue too. Like,
yeah.
But no, yeah, she wouldn't do that.
Interesting.
But the lady she bought it off would sell it for like $20 a pound.
Is that a lot for butter?
I'd say so. Yeah.
It's so interesting. I didn't even know there was this whole dark world of cheese. All right.
Dairy.
You think I was gonna like die in federal prison? And that's super funny. You scamps.
So worst case scenario, you're probably looking at a fine and suffering the ennui of eating your dry, cheeseless crackers alone. But let's leave the food world and get into something that probably makes a little bit more sense. Now, a source
I
of
don't even know
pride
what that
for
is.
the baby boomer generation is that everything was dangerous and no one seemed to care. Yes, that golden era where we lined our walls with cancerous asbestos, medical professionals smoked in hospitals, and people sold chemistry sets to children that contained real uranium. So of course, as a society, we used to let kids hurl giant darts into the air with impunity and call it a national pastime. That's the story of lawn darts, which have been illegal in the United States since 1988 after being linked to thousands of injuries and the deaths of at least 3 children.
Oh my
Lawn
God.
darts, known as javelin darts or jarts, was a popular lawn game in the mid-20th century. Gameplay was actually quite straightforward. Players would take turns tossing giant darts into a circle placed about 35 feet away, all at
I can already see it happening. The dad is like, or he's like, throw that dart over here, Billy. And then the little
It's
boy,
not a football. It's a dart.
no, I know, but into the ring, and a little boy is running in there, and the guy doesn't see it. He throws it and just takes him out. That's probably what happened to those 3 kids. Yeah.
hole, but with giant razor-sharp darts raining down from the sky instead of soft beanbags.
That's
Now,
wild.
unfortunately, throwing a giant metal dart is a tremendous safety hazard, and government regulators eventually began to take notice.
This isn't child's play, according to the Food and Drug Administration.
The U.S.'s first attempt to outlaw the game was strenuously opposed by jart manufacturers who fought the proposed FDA ban in court. In 1970, manufacturers actually won a compromise that would allow the sale of lawn darts so long as it was 1, only marketed to adults, then 2, the product was no longer sold in toy stores, and 3, the product contained warning labels alerting consumers to keep it out of the reach of children. But unfortunately, these compromise measures were insufficient to prevent tragedy for aerospace engineer David Snow. In April 1987, Snow's 7-year-old daughter, Michelle, was killed by a lawn dart thrown by one of her 9-year-old brother's playmates in the backyard of their home in Riverside, California.
God.
The dart hit her head with approximately 23,000 pounds of pressure per square inch, and Snow's daughter died 3 days later. The grieving father then made it his mission to lobby public officials to take lawn darts off the market for good. Snow brought his complaint to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, who were persuaded to investigate Snow's claims. The commission discovered that over a period of 8 years, lawn darts had sent 6,100 people to the emergency room. 81% of those cases involved kids aged 15 or younger, half were 10 or younger, and many had suffered permanent injury, disability, or even death. In 1988, Snow prevailed in his crusade. The commission voted 2-1 to prohibit the sale of all lawn darts.
Wow. This is crazy. I never even knew these were a thing.
I mean, they're giant darts. Like,
Yeah.
where,
What do
thought
you
that was a good
expect?
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder when they were sitting in a boardroom thinking like giant darts.
I think they forget that like humans are humans and we
Yeah.
do stupid shit sometimes. Like,
But I
and-
wonder if wherever you guys are, let us know if this is even a thing in your guys' country.
Yeah, I've never even heard about this.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Also, like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like it's not like you got hit by a ball or something.
You got hit by a sharp
Like,
metal object.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he said it was razor sharp.
Yeah,
Like,
that's supposed
you're
to be
literally
a-
throwing a knife, pretty
yeah.
much.
Yeah. Jeez.
Interesting.
Okay.
Lawn
Wild
darts
West.
and had them removed from stores in time for that year's Christmas. And Canada also outlawed lawn darts in July of 1989. Now, if you want to play traditional lawn darts, you'll have to hop on a plane and visit the European Union, where the game is still legal.
Oh, wow,
but
there we
here
go.
in the U.S., you can find a legal version with a modified plastic blunt tip that replaces the sharp metal tip. Because that makes quite a lot more sense. But that takes us to something that's arguably even more dangerous: smoking. Now, for most of the 20th century, cigarette smoking was glorified as the ultimate embodiment of the American West. Things like tough guys, rebels without a cause. In advertising, doctors endorsed their favorite brands, while we were told that women found smoking men irresistible. But this image of health and sex appeal slowly began to change starting in 1964 after the US Surgeon General stated definitively that yes, smoking tobacco can be fatal. And research shows that flavored cigarettes largely appeal to and are disproportionately used by those under 18 years of
I can
age.
see that.
That is not how to inhale, Bobby. You're hotboxing it.
So, to help combat youth smoking, in 2009, the FDA banned the sale of flavored cigarettes, including cloves, cinnamon, candy, and fruit flavors, pursuant to the Family Smoking Prevention and Control Act. Though menthol cigarettes were exempted from the ban, as well as non-cigarette tobacco products like electronic cigarettes, cigars, smokeless tobacco, and hookah. But the US is not alone here, as countries with policies banning some or all types of flavored cigarettes include Canada, Brazil, Ethiopia,
wow.
Uganda, Senegal, Niger, Mauritania, and 28 member states of the European Union, Moldova, Turkey, and Singapore. As for everyone else, Well, not only are flavored cigarettes completely legal in the vast majority of countries, but the US ban on cloves actually created an international incident. In April 2010, Indonesia, the world's top producer of clove cigarettes and the source of the vast majority of those smoked in the US, filed a trade dispute with the World Trade Organization. In its claim, Indonesia argued that the US ban illegally discriminated against foreign products of flavored tobacco and created an unlawful advantage for domestic tobacco manufacturers. In September 2011, the WTO agreed, finding that the ban was indeed discriminatory because it prohibited clove cigarettes while allowing the sale of American menthol cigarettes. The opinion was affirmed on appeal in 2012. This ruling gave Indonesia the right to retaliate until either the US changed its law to comply or the two sides reached a settlement. And in 2014, the two countries reached a final settlement on the issue, ending their dispute. Under the settlement, the US agreed it would not arbitrarily discriminate against certain Indonesian tobacco products and promised to work with Indonesia on other trade issues. Now, a decade after the flavored tobacco ban, public health advocates seem to have been vindicated. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Adolescent Health found that the flavor ban was effective at reducing cigarette use among young people. In April of 2022, the FDA took additional steps against flavored tobacco products by proposing a ban on the sales of menthol cigarettes and all flavored cigars. In its proposal, the FDA argued that these actions had the potential to reduce disease and death by, quote, reducing youth experimentation and addiction and increasing the number of smokers that quit. Public comments will continue through July of 2022, but Kinder Surprise eggs are already...
I'm confused. Wait, the menthols are banned now too? I thought they sold those.
I think menthols were exempted.
Yeah, but he said something right now about
They're
it.
probably, maybe they're talking to.
Yeah, I don't keep up with the cigarette whatever news, even though I know a lot of people who do.
Yeah.
Because if we don't smoke cigarettes, I think they're freaking disgusting. I also have asthma.
I mean, I did. In high school, I did. But it was just like if we were at a party
Social,
or something and just drinking. But I would kind of get like, they would make me sick a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, just like, who's buying these kids cigarettes? Like their older friends?
I'm not going to say any names here. But when I was in high school, we would just go through like some little drive-through shack in like the ghetto area.
Okay.
That's where we would. Yeah, never mind. All right.
Would you pay a stranger to buy you some?
No,
you be like,
we would buy it from the people working at the drive-through.
They really didn't care, did they?
No, we just had to give them cash.
Interesting. That means they pocketed that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. I didn't know about the whole Indonesia fair trade thing about.
Yeah, I had no idea about that either.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I do think that it's a big issue with kids smoking, but I think it has more to do with the media portraying. Now, not anymore.
The e-cigs and
but
all
it
that.
did for a long time. Was like everyone was smoking cigarettes in movies.
Oh yeah, I hung out when I was in high school. I was on a trip with a bunch of friends and like mutuals, I guess. And like one of the girls was like smoking a cigarette, and she was like, I was like, oh, I didn't know you smoke cigarettes. Not like, no judgment, but I just didn't know that. And I've hung out with her so many times, and she goes, oh, I don't, but like if it's around, she's like, I just think it's so sexy. And I'm like, girl.
I mean,
lung cancer isn't sexy.
I know
not
people.
saying everyone gets lung cancer with it.
One of my friends who I used to play music with, he was addicted to nicotine, like smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, it's
and
definitely a.
I get, and this other guy I know too, but I don't know. I never really felt like addicted to it.
I don't think you have an addictive personality though.
Yeah.
I just don't. Like you've tried other things that
It's
most
easy
people
for
get
me.
addicted to, and
Yeah.
you don't.
It's easy for me to kind of just like
it
go
off.
cold sheep.
Cold.
Oh, cold turkey. Sorry, cold turkey. Whatever. All right, sorry. Let's go. I forget it before you start fucking making fun of me. All right.
Banned, so the hard work has already been accomplished. But that takes us to the next American illegality,
sport.
something you potentially might do every single day. Now, if you were an American pedestrian in 1903, crossing the street was a very simple endeavor. If you wanted to cross the street, you would just walk across the street. Before the introduction of cars...
Actually, Newsom made jaywalking not illegal here in California.
He said, "If you get hit, you get hit, sweetie." No, I'm kidding.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was in school out in Hollywood, I hate to say this, but like the cops would target like
Minorities.
yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it happen to actually friends of mine that I was walking
I
across
remember
the
you
street
telling
with.
me.
It was me. It was like, yeah, there were other people that you know were black, and then there was a Hispanic, and then me and some other like white dude, and we were all walking, And they literally just gave the jaywalking ticket to the Hispanic dude and one of the black dudes, and then the other, like us, like they let us go.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
It was messed up seeing that, and I was
It
like,
sounds like they were just trying to find a reason to
yeah,
point them out.
yeah. And I heard that happened a few times from them too, when they would talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it is wild that you always hear jaywalking was.
Oh,
This
sorry.
is the second time
I hit play by accident. I'm sorry.
I know. Just don't put your hand
I'm
there
sorry.
when I'm talking. I didn't think jaywalking people would actually get tickets for it.
Me either.
Like growing up, you hear it's illegal, but like I would just look for a cop, and if I don't see one, I'll just like run across it. But I've never heard anyone getting a ticket until you told me that.
Yeah.
I thought even if a cop saw you, they would just be like, "Ugh, stupid kids," and like move along the way.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
That all citizens had a right to occupy, even children at play. But today, if you try and cross the street without using a crosswalk or cross the street when the traffic light is flashing do not walk, well, congratulations, you have committed the crime of jaywalking. Now, across the pond, some of our European allies have taken a more laissez-faire attitude towards jaywalking by making it totally legal. They just call it walking. Now, for example, there are no laws against jaywalking in Norway. The same goes for the UK, meaning that the Beatles didn't need to use the crosswalk for their famous Abbey Road cover. And the Netherlands used to have laws against jaywalking, but repealed these statutes in 1995 to simplify the traffic code and give pedestrians more freedom. In these countries, your right to cross the street freely shall not be infringed. But here in the United States, we've taken a more punitive approach to walking. Now, every year, cities like Los Angeles issue tickets to tens of thousands of pedestrians for jaywalking, which includes fines worth up to $200. But this was not always the case. In fact, ticketing someone for jaywalking is a relatively young concept in the United States. According to University of Virginia historian Peter Norton, the notion of jaywalking, with jay being an early 20th century slur for someone stupid or unsophisticated, was introduced by a group of auto industry aligned groups.
I always try to find reasoning for like sayings or like words that I don't understand. I thought it was just because like when you cross, you go one way or the other and it looks like a J.
Honestly, I never even thought about where the word came from.
I just assumed it was a play
Wow.
on.
So-
I don't fucking know.
Pretty much calling them stupid.
1920s as part of a
wild.
concerted pro-car, anti-pedestrian propaganda campaign. But when cars were first introduced, there were a few crosswalks painted on the street. Pedestrians generally ignored the ones that existed because they didn't need to. But as cars became more widely available, pedestrian deaths skyrocketed, with hundreds of thousands of Americans, many children, being killed in car crashes for the first few decades of the 20th century. So to counter all this negative publicity, auto industries sought to enact traffic laws that would shift blame from drivers and their cars to the pedestrians themselves. And it worked. Not only did cities and states begin criminalizing jaywalking, but the US government supported the anti-pedestrian propaganda campaign by ridiculing jaywalkers and placing blame on them for automobile crashes. And today, some criminal justice advocates believe jaywalking should be decriminalized altogether. But as an aside, you should all go watch Not Just Bikes and get orange pilled, because it's kind of stupid that we've ceded all of this real estate to cars for both driving and parking, when cities should be for the people themselves. But I'll get down off of my soapbox. And while it might sound counterintuitive, countries that allow jaywalking tend to have lower traffic deaths, as pedestrians tend to cross more safely and when they aren't worried about criminal penalties. And criminal justice advocates point out that jaywalking laws have a very disparate impact, with tickets not evenly applied and enforcement disproportionately targeting people of color. So far in 2021,
Exactly. It was crazy when it happened. I thought I was like, what's happening? I'm like, am I crazy? And I was like, oh shit, this actually happens. Like,
Yeah,
it's
like-
just an easy way for them to target them and get them, like a
Yeah.
ticket.
Okay, make a wish. Yes, that's complete fucking bullshit.
Anyone from like the Netherlands or any places that are similar, I know you guys not favor, but you guys kind of like make it way more important for pedestrians who are like riding bikes or walking and stuff. That's so interesting. Let us know if you'd want us to do like
they
a video
say
on that.
When you're taking your test at the DMV, you say like pedestrians have the right of way, but like if they're not using a crosswalk, then what? You're allowed. They're free game. You can fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think it's also it's almost like a way that people can get upset at other people, like because they're doing something wrong.
Right. I do think, regardless, be smart about where you're jaywalking. Don't be doing it on a busy
Super
street
busy
and just
street, yeah.
assume like they need to stop and,
Yeah.
like But yeah, overall, I've always thought it was stupid.
Yeah, it's such a weird like thing. All right.
Yeah. I think that's
Virginia
it,
has
huh?
heeded this call by becoming the first and so far only state to decriminalize jaywalking. And a similar bill to decriminalize jaywalking was vetoed by California's Governor Gavin Newsom in 2021.
I think it just
So
passed.
for better or worse, if you want to stay on the straight and narrow in 49 of the U.S. states, you'd better be sure to look both ways and stay in the crosswalk every time. For now. Okay, so maybe America isn't the freest country in the world after all, but you can take a stand for your right to exclusive content with today's
Cool. All right. That was the video.
So, any final thoughts?
No, the stuff he was talking about was interesting. Some of the stuff I would never even have guessed.
I mean, I thought there was going to be a little bit more like juicy stuff.
Yeah, me too. I think for the next one, if you guys do enjoy this one, we'll probably do the one that states the opposite, saying like what's legal in the U.S. but illegal in other places.
I think that one will be way more interesting because I know that there's a lot of things that we approve in our foods and cleaning products and things like that.
Yeah, it's funny what we don't approve and then what,
I know.
what we do.
Kinder eggs is where we draw the line. But, yeah. Anyway.
All right, that was fun. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching this. If you haven't, jump over to our vlog channel, which is just called Brian and Linda. I'll put a link below. I'll also put the original video link below too. And yeah. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Put that notification on.
And thank you if you've watched this far.
I'm getting better at talking.
Yeah, you are. Good job.
We did some cool videos on our vlog channel.
We filmed a couple, I edited them, and
they're interesting and they're funny.
Babe, we haven't posted them yet though.
I'm
so
saying, well,
wait.
just to give them a little hype.
Yeah, just follow our vlog channel.
Yeah,
if you haven't,
you'll enjoy them. I think.
Because we're trying to get back. I say this all the time. I'm like, yeah, we're trying to get back on that channel. But yeah.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Peace.